Hey, this is Riley from McNaught Cadillac Buick GMC, and I'm going to take you on a tour of our 2019 Cadillac XT4 Sport Edition. Now, the Sport Edition that we have here is basically the maxed out in terms of options and features. Now, I'm going to give you an in-depth tour and show you what you can get for $59,000, which is the sticker price of this particular Cadillac XT4. Now, that's 59,000 Canadian dollars. I know we have a lot of viewers from the States, but I'd imagine the pricing would be similar with the dollar difference. Now, starting off with the engine itself, you've got the 2-liter turbocharged engine. Now, this is a redesigned turbocharged engine, okay? You're going to be paired up with a 9-speed automatic transmission, and this XT4 is going to be kicking out 237 horsepower, and you've got 258 pound-feet of torque. So that's going to give you a 0 to 60 time of about 6.5 seconds. So that's pretty much on par with all the other smaller size crossovers, and it's definitely respectable if you're trying to pass people on the highway. Now, on the front end here, we've got the gloss black sport grille. You've got the forward facing camera right down there and the full LED headlights, as well as your light blade running lights. Now, you do have forward facing parking sensors on the bumper itself, and then you've got some more sensors located right back here behind the mirror, and that's going to work for your adaptive cruise control, your automatic forward braking, and some of the other features that you've got equipped on this vehicle. Now, the doors do have the same proximity locks that you find in all the other GM vehicles. You've got the gloss black window trim and gloss black roof rails. That's unique to the Sport Edition. Now, let's take a look at these wheels. I'm going to talk about these wheels for a second. These are the 20-inch polished aluminum 5-spoke wheels. These are unique to the Sport Edition. Probably the nicest looking wheels you could get on this XT4. And it has a nice satin finish, diamond cut. So these wheels are sharp. Really nice looking wheels. You've got a couple different wheel options though. You could get the 18-inch or the 20-inch wheels, but that's going to depend on which model you choose. Now, on the back end here, you've got the dual exhaust system, your fully redesigned LED taillights. Now, your power liftgate is pretty interesting here. You've actually got the hands-free option, so as long as the key is in your pocket, simply kick right behind the bumper, and the tailgate's going to open right up. Now, I've tested this out a few times. It works pretty well. If the vehicle's really dirty, sometimes the sensor might not catch it, but for the most part, it's really responsive. And worst case scenario, you've got the button on your key or the button on the inside of the car. Now, in terms of trunk space, pretty reasonable back here, okay? You could lower those seats nice and flat if you need some extra space for some larger items. And you've also got the cargo cover right here, but that's optional, so it's up to you. Now, the color on this one is autumn metallic. That's a really unique orange color that they just introduced in the 2019 XT4 model here. But of course, your color combination is going to vary depending on what configuration you get and what trims you get. Now, taking a look into the back seat here, first thing you're going to notice, you've got the jet black interior with your cinnamon accents. Look at this little orange stitching going throughout here, really nice and rich. Now, on the door panel itself, you do have some carbon fiber trim, aluminum inserts right here, and of course, you've got your one touch-down windows, as you'd expect. Now, the back seat is reasonably equipped here. You've got the heated outboard seats, a USB charging port, and a USB Type-A port, so you could essentially plug in your iPhone or your MacBook Pro, whatever you've got, and you're able to charge it up in this XT4 without a problem. Okay, now it's time to open up the driver's door and take a peek inside. Now, just before we do that, I want to show you guys the mirror. Right over here, you've got your side blind zone alert, okay? So if a vehicle enters your blind spot, that's going to light up and it's going to alert you so that you stay safe and you make sure you don't drift over into the wrong lane. Now, take a look at this. At first glance here, the Cadillac XT4, you've got your fully power adjustable front seats. Now, this does include your lumbar support, and it also includes a massage feature right there. That's what that button's going to do. As we take a look just behind the steering wheel here, you are going to find your electronic parking brake you've got your brightness controls and your heads-up display controls. Now the heads-up display is actually redesigned for this XT4 model. Now it's going to be hard to show you in the daylight, but it does project your vehicle's speed right onto the windshield so you could stay safe, keep your eyes on the road. It's a really handy feature. Now the steering wheel itself is the sport steering wheel, really nice and thick. It does have the heated option on it, and you've also got your paddle shifters located just behind. Now the steering wheel itself is also power adjustable. You've got all your controls right there, just underneath. And you do have the all-weather Cadillac mats that are going to come included depending how you configure this vehicle at our dealership. Now once again, on the driver's door, beautiful carbon fiber inserts. You could also get the wood grain trim as an option, but that's up to you. You've got your driver's memory seat settings, your one touchdown windows, your power folding mirrors, and you've also got your power adjustable mirrors right there as well. Now last but not least, here's going to be your tailgate controller. So you could pop open the liftgate all the way, or you could go 3/4, or you could disable it entirely if you don't want your kids playing around and opening up the rear hatch. All right, now we've taken a seat inside the all-new 2019 Cadillac XT4. Now let's take a look at some of the features you get here from the driver's perspective, starting off with the driver's awareness center. Now this is an all-new redesigned front dash. You've got the full LCD display, high quality display here. Now the best part is you are able to configure it using the buttons right here located on your steering wheel, and you could scroll through all the different vehicle info. That includes your oil life, your tire pressure, you've got your speedometer. You could even display radio info or navigation options right here in front of you. I really like that system. It's highly configurable. You could even change the overall layout to reflect the sport trim package. Now over here on the left-hand side, you are going to find your cruise controls. You do have your hands-free call buttons, your heated steering wheel, I should say. You also have your forward collision alert with your adaptive cruise control settings. So you could adjust the gap here. That's going to follow the vehicle in front of you on the highway and basically apply the brakes or accelerate to match the vehicle's speed in front of you. Now heading on over here, this is the all-new redesigned Cadillac CUE system for the 2019 year model. And just look at this display, absolutely gorgeous. It's an 8-inch LCD display. You've got all of your audio entertainment features, including Sirius XM radio, which is going to come standard for the first 3 months. Now, of course, you've also got Bluetooth phone pairing, but if you don't want to use Bluetooth, you could also use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's not going to be an issue whatsoever. You've got the 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, which you could subscribe to through OnStar, and that's going to give you data that you could use all throughout North America. So if you're traveling to Canada, you're traveling to the United States, you're able to use your Wi-Fi hotspot, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than purchasing a travel plan for your cell phone. I've used it before on road trips, and I could definitely recommend it. Now, the new camera system on this XT4 is absolutely incredible. Take a look at all the angles you've got here. Now, to start off, you do have the surround 360 view camera, as well as the HD forward-facing camera. Now, you could also flip through to reveal the backwards-facing camera. Now, this does have your trajectory lanes, so as you steer the wheel, the lines are going to turn, and they're going to guide you while you park. Now, you also have the wide-angle lens right here for the front and back. You've also got the top-down bird's-eye view for the front end of the XT4, as well as the back end. And then once again, you've got a really wide angle, basically third-person perspective of the entire XT4, and it even has the XT4 right here mapped out on the screen. So these give you some different options here. In terms of parking, parallel parking is going to be really easy, especially with these curb view cameras, which are going to point at your tires. And then once again, you've got the trajectory, which you could turn on and off. So the options are endless here. I absolutely love the XT4's new camera system. They're going to implement this into some of the new Cadillacs soon, but this is basically leading the industry in terms of camera options. Now, speaking of cameras, take a look at this rear view mirror here. This is an option that you could get in the premium luxury or sport. So you've got the standard rear view mirror, and when you flick the switch, now you've got a rear view camera. So take a look at that. You've got the mirror, then you've got the camera. You've also got buttons under here which are going to configure the camera. If you want to adjust the brightness, you could also adjust the zoom, or you could pan up and down to adjust your angle. So it's really nice to have when you're driving down the highway. You want to see who's behind you, but obviously the standard mirror does not reach far enough. Okay, some of the other features you've got here real quick on the infotainment is the redesigned navigation system. Now look how responsive this is. This is absolutely incredible. There's no more lag. There's no more loading times whatsoever for your nav. It's instantaneous, and you could type in an address using the keyboard, or you could also use voice commands really easily. If you're already driving, you don't want to start playing around with the infotainment system. Just tell it where you want to go. It's going to take you there. Over here, dual zone climate controls. You've got your front heated and ventilated seats, really nice in the summertime. You've got access to your parking sensors. You've got access to your park assist. You've got access to your lane departure and lane keep assist. So all your settings are going to be nice hard buttons right here. There's no tinkering around in the settings. You've got the buttons right here in front of you, easy to use. Now just behind that, you are going to find your SD slot, your 12-volt charge outlet, and another pair of USB charge outlets, so you could hook up your phone, hook up whatever, and keep everything plugged in. Now the redesigned all-new precision shift selector is really nice here. There's no more fumbling around going left and right. You go straight up for reverse, and then you go straight down for drive. Simple as that. Press the park button, and now you're in park. Now, last but not least is what they implemented here. A lot of complaints with the old Q system where you'd have to glide your finger up and down on the sensor. They've gotten rid of that. Now you've got the actual volume knob, which is a lot less frustrating to use. You've also got quick touch buttons to your radio, quick touch buttons to your phone calling, and your navigation. So as easy as that. And a nice dial here, rotary dial. That's going to help you zoom in and out and perform different commands within your infotainment system. Now just beside that, you are going to find your traction control. You've got the auto start stop feature, which you could turn on and off. That's up to you. And you've also got your drive mode selector, which is going to include 3 different modes for the all-wheel drive edition. That's going to have tour, that's going to have all-wheel drive, and it's going to have sport. So those 3 different modes are going to change up your suspension dampers. They're also going to configure your transmission to shift a little bit later or sooner, depending on the fuel economy the vehicle's trying to achieve for the performance. And of course, it's also going to configure your steering a little bit. It's going to tighten up the steering, give you a little bit better control if you want to push this XT4 to the limits. Now, last but not least, we're going to open up this armrest. You've got the wireless charging mat here. Pop down your iPhone 10, pop down your Samsung, whatever you've got, and you could charge that wirelessly. It works nice. And then up here on the ceiling itself, you've got your OnStar buttons. You've got your power slide and tilt sunroof, and you've also got the garage door transmitters. Now, one last feature I want to tell you here. You've got the battery protection system, which is going to essentially make sure that if you leave on one of your LED lights here, one of your dome lights, the battery is actually going to shut down those lights before it drains too much. That way you're not going to wake up in the morning, your kid left on the light, you've got a dead battery. Those are problems of the past with this new XT4. Now, last thing I want to point out in this XT4 is the panoramic sunroof option that you've got here. Take a look at this. You've got the forward portion, which is going to be slide and tilt, and the rear portion, which is fixed, but nonetheless, it's going to let in a lot of natural light, making it feel a lot more spacious than it really is. Now, one last thing, you do have the optional Bose premium audio system. You'll notice the Bose badging right here if your vehicle is equipped with it. Now, that is a 13-speaker sound system, and it's going to work great with that HD radio, Sirius XM, or your music from your Spotify on your phone. So overall, you've definitely got a lot of options in terms of sound systems and sunroof and safety features. So overall, that's our 2019 Cadillac XT4 Sport Edition. Now, if you've got any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us at McNaught.com. We'd be happy to help you out.